Ever thought you could power up your adventures without drilling holes or lugging around heavy gear? What if you could just stick a panel anywhere, bend it to your will, and let the sun do all the work? Today, we're diving into the surprisingly cool world of flexible solar panels. If you're like me and you want energy anywhere, on the go, off the grid, at the beach, or even on the roof of your RV, then stick around. I'll count down the 6 best flexible solar panels on the market right now, and I'll be brutally honest about which ones shine bright and which, well, could use some polishing up. Let's charge up. 6. Topunive 100W12V Flexible Solar Panel. Now, I was honestly intrigued when I first got my hands on this one. The stats are impressive on paper. Bifacial tech, so it captures sunlight from both sides. Supposed to bump your efficiency by 10 to 20%. And it's ultra light. I could literally carry it in one hand at barely over 4 pounds. It's like lifting a pizza box. Seriously, installation is a breeze. You slap it on your van, trailer, or even a weirdly curved boat roof and it flexes just enough to mold to the surface. But here's where my real-world testing left me a bit underwhelmed. The conversion efficiency claims are bold, up to 23%, which, okay, is fantastic for the category. But under normal sun, I never quite hit the performance highs I'd hoped for. There's a bit of a gap between the lab and the real world. And while the ETFE material is supposed to boost longevity and handle heat, after a few weeks on the roof, I noticed it attracting a fair bit of dust and pollen. Cleaning it? Not bad, but certainly not a wipe-and-go experience. Durability-wise, it's IP67, so it laughs in the face of a rainstorm. And I had no issues with splashes or even leaving it out overnight. But be aware, the thinness that makes it easy to flex also means it can feel a bit fragile. I wouldn't go dancing on it or testing it against sharp objects. 5. Rvpozwer 100W Flexible Solar Panel. On first impression, it's another 100-watt contender, promising high flexibility and simple mounting. At just under 5 pounds, it's easy to throw on just about any surface. Think RV roofs, curved trailers, even tents if you're clever. So what worked? I loved how straightforward it was to set up. The panel feels reasonably tough, with decent waterproofing that stood up to a surprise thunderstorm. It has enough give to fit on weirdly shaped surfaces without much fuss. And genuinely, for basic solar needs, charging up a battery system for lights, a fridge, and maybe a few devices, it delivers. But, and here's the honesty, this panel doesn't quite go toe-to-toe with the top-tier brands when it comes to long-term durability. The casing, while light, feels just a little thin, and I worried about punctures if I left it out during a busy camping weekend. Also, the surface is more prone to scuffing, especially if you're sliding gear in and out over it. And I noticed that in overcast or partly cloudy conditions, the output dipped noticeably. Fine if you're parked in full sun all day, but throwing some shade and you'll really wish you had something a bit more premium. Another thing, the connectors feel less robust compared to the others on this list, so if you're replugging or moving things often, you might see some wear and tear a little sooner. For people making solar their main power source off-grid, you probably want to look upmarket. 4. Renogy 100-watt 12-volt flexible solar panel. This brand is everywhere in the solar world, and for good reason. Right out of the box, you get a sense of premium build. The panel is thin, seriously, 0.08 inches, and light at around 4.2 pounds, but it just feels solid, like you could trust it not to crack under pressure. I installed 2 of these on a van roof, and even after a dusty road trip, they kept chugging. Bendability is up to 240 degrees, so yes, you can wrap it across most camper curves with zero problem. And that ultra-slim profile means you can install it almost invisibly. The junction boxes and connectors are rated IP68 and IP67, so rain, snow, or boat spray are non-issues. And you know what's wild? I accidentally had one slide off the van roof on the highway, don't ask. And it survived. Not a scratch, still working fine. It pumps out solid power for its rating, and with high-efficiency mono cells, it keeps working all day. But what I really like is the warranty. 5 years for material and workmanship, plus a power guarantee for peace of mind. My only gripes? The cables are just a bit short, so if you're running power to a distant battery, grab an extension. Also, mounting is mostly adhesive or zip ties, so plan your install. All things considered, if you want something light, low profile, and seriously tough, Renogy is basically a gold standard for flexible panels. 3. Renogy 200-watt 12-volt solar panel. Now wow, twice the power, but still flexible and surprisingly portable. When I set this up for camping and RV trips, it gave me the freedom to park in the shade while placing the panel out in the sun. It folds, packs nicely, and fits behind a seat or in a trunk, no problem. Setup takes almost no time. Just unfold, plug into your power station or battery, and you're set. The output is fantastic. On a clear day, you're getting a real 200 watts, enough for running a fridge, charging devices, maybe even running a small appliance with the right gear. I love the robust connectors and long cords, makes daisy chaining or moving the panel easy. Durability? Let's just say, I've tossed this thing into sand, over gravel, even got caught in a light drizzle. It just keeps going. And the monocells inside keep performance steady even in partial shade. The only improvement I'd wish for is slightly more compact pack size, but honestly, for the power and flexibility combo, it's hard to beat. If you want maximum wattage in a mobile package, this one's a no-brainer. 2. Renogy N-Type 400-watt portable solar panel. Okay, stepping into heavy hitter territory. Number 2, the Renogy N-Type 400-watt portable solar panel. I mean, this thing is a beast, not just in size, but power. And get this, it cranks out nearly 2,000 watt-hours in a day under optimal conditions. I tested it while running a fridge, lights, charging devices, and it just powered on through. And as a semi-flexible array, it's easier to handle and lighter than most rigid panels you'd get in this power range. The efficiency is impressive, especially for N-type cells. They handle partly cloudy days well and don't drop off much under shade. I was worried it'd be unwieldy to move or set up, but the foldable design and carrying handles made things surprisingly manageable. The only knock, you need some real estate to deploy this panel. It's big, no doubt about it. But that extra space pays off when you want to run bigger appliances or go truly off-grid for several days. Also, the cables are thoughtfully sized, and with the waterproofing IP68 connectors, I never worried about sudden rain. If you want backup power or long-term solar living, the Renogy 400-watt panel is not just nice, it's almost overkill in the best possible way. 1. BougeRV Yuma 200-watt flexible solar panel. Now, I admit I was skeptical. Thin film CIGS technology isn't as common as silicon, and I wondered if lightweight meant fragile. But oh, was I surprised. Mounting this on a curved van roof was almost laughably easy. It's so light that a single person can install it, and you don't need drilling, framing, or heavy brackets. Power production? Impressive. This thing handles low light conditions better than any others I tested. Cloudy afternoons, dawn, dusk, it still trickles in enough power to keep batteries topped up, and in full sun, it's a true 200-watt performer. Overheating just isn't a thing, and the panel even shrugged off the intense summer heat on my driveway. Durability? Check. BougeRV gives up to a 10-year warranty, and with its flexibility, it can take a bit of bending and rough handling without cracking. The only real downside is the price. It's a bit steeper than some other 200-watt panels, but you get what you pay for. If you want a panel that's light, strong, weather-hardy, easy to install, and powerful in nearly any light, the Yuma is the hands-down winner for me. It's just that good for mobile solar and off-grid freedom. Final thought. So that's the roundup. You've got options from budget-friendly to absolutely top-tier, each with their quirks. Which one's right for you depends on where you're headed and just how much sun you plan to soak up. Happy travels, and may your batteries always be full.